Hello guys, today we're going to look at a factorial question together. A. Given that A equals 12 factorial, which of the following expresses the statement in terms of A? That's the question. Now, first, we're going to write 13 factorial and 14 factorial in terms of 12 factorial. Let's get started. Let's expand 13. 13 times 12 factorial plus 14 times 13 times 12. We said factorial. If you notice here, 13 times 12 factorial and 13 times 12 factorial are common terms. So what are we going to do? We factored out 13 times 12 factorial. Guys, since I factored this out and there's no coefficient in front of it, you write a 1 in its place. Since I factored out this expression, the coefficient here appears as 14. So, when we say plus 14, if you add these two expressions, you get 15. It's divided by 65. Okay, now let's divide by 5. It becomes 3. Divide by 5 again, we get 13. 13 cancels out with 13 as well, right? That worked out nicely. We're left with 3 times 12 factorial. In our hands, 12 factorial is already equal, guys. That's it. Alright then. If we write wherever we see 12 factorial, the equivalent of this expression will be 3a. Hello guys, we're going to solve a factorial question together. What is the digit in the ones place of the expression? That's what they're asking. Well, now, first of all, in factorial questions, starting from 5 factorial and including 5 factorial, the ones digit of all the numbers after 5 factorial ends with 0, guys. What does this mean? It means that the ones digit of 1907 factorial will be 0. This is the part that convinces me, guys. Now, if we expand 2 factorial, it will be 2. 3 factorial ends with 6, and 4 factorial ends with 24. 5 factorial is 120. Pay attention. What happened? The ones digit became 0. Right? Good. Now, let's sum this up and take a look. 24, 6, 30, 32. Let's write it down like this. From now on, the ones digit of all the factorials that follow will be 0. Friends, when we expand 1907 factorial, the ones digit will also be 0. So, what is the sum of these numbers now? I'm interested in the ones digit, guys. Look, pay attention. The sum here will be 2. What does this mean? It means that the sum of all the numbers here ends with 2 in the ones digit. And that's the fourth. Howard at the question is asking for anyway. Question, what do we do if we take 2 to the fourth? If we take 2 to the fourth power, we'll have found the answer we're looking for. 2 to the fourth power of 2 is 16. They asked for the digit in the ones place of the expression here. For us, that will be 6. Hello everyone. We're going to tackle a factorial question together. The expression is an integer. What is the greatest integer value it can take? That's what they're asking. So, what does this mean now? It means 37 factorial is exactly divisible by 8 to the power of n. In these kinds of questions, friends, look, we need to break down the denominator into its prime factors. What is 8? It's 2 cubed. So, we can write it as 2 to the power of 3n. So now, this means that 37 factorial is exactly divisible by 2 to the power of 3n. Here, we use a certain method. Look, you take 37. What do you divide it by? You divide it by 2, friends, okay? We'll keep going until it can't be divided anymore. This process, I divided 37 by 2. I divided 18 by 2. I'm dividing 9 by 2. I divided 4 by 2. I divided 2 by 2, friends. 1, great. Now, guys, here we're going to add up the quotients. That's it. Do you know what these quotients we found are? When we add them up, we found the expressions that are exactly divisible by 3. Actually, that's what we're doing. What does it want us to find? Okay. So now let's add up the quotients by 3 and see. It will be 18, 20, 29, 30, 34. Okay. What is it asking us? Now, think of it this way. 34 is not divisible by 3, friends. So in these kinds of questions, think of a number just before 34 that is exactly divisible by 3. Which one is that? 33. Okay. So we say n times 3 equals 33. The value of n here will be 11. It was asking for the largest integer value that n can take. It will be 11, friends. Hello So guys, someone is trying to find the value of a factorial number by expanding the expression. In the expansion, by accidentally writing one number twice, they find the result of the multiplication. Given that the value they found is 1440, what is the extra number that was mistakenly multiplied? That's the question. Alright, let's start from scratch. Let's say 0 factorial, 1 factorial, 2, 3, and let's continue with 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, right guys? Let's keep going like this. Now, 0 factorial equals 1. 1 factorial 1. How do we expand 2? 2 times 1. 2. That's what we get. 3, 3, 2, 1 equals. We say 6, guys. Again, look, let's expand 4 as well. We write it as 4, 3, 2, 1. The result of the multiplication is equal to 24. 5 factorial is equal to 120. 6 factorial is 720. And 7 factorial will be 5040 like this. Guys, if you can at least memorize up to 7. It'll help you speed up a bit in exams, practice tests, or questions. Knowing these is an advantage. Now it says a number is multiplied by writing it twice, and the result is 1440. Now guys, how many times is 720 and 1440? It's twice, so the number 2 has been written twice. Alright, if you want, you can also try the other choices, but if you try 5 here, you'll get a bigger number anyway. So, 5 hasn't been written twice. Look, 6 hasn't been written, right? You can also see this by trying it out here. Or look at 720. As you can see, I wrote out this much detail so that we could see the 1440 connection. That's all. Hello everyone. A music band that gives concerts on 2 different continents has performed 3 times in each of 4 cities in 5 different countries on one of these continents, and once in each of 3 cities in 4 different countries on the other continent. Accordingly, how many concerts has this music group given in total on these 2 continents? That's the question. Okay, now first, let's start with the first continent and figure out how many concerts were given there. Let's find that out. In each of 4 cities in 5 different countries, they performed 3 times. In other words, they gave concerts. Okay, now let's look at the second continent. In each of 3 cities in 4 different countries, they performed once. Okay, this gives us the total number of concerts on the second continent. Now, if you want, you can multiply and add to get the result, and then check the answer choices. It won't make a difference now. 4 and 3 are common factors. 4 times 3. I factored them out together. Guys, look, there's a 5 here, and there's a 1 here, and we need to add them together. So, we say times 6. We added 5 and 1, then multiplied by 6. Now I can see this. 6 times 4 is 24, times 3. Guys, let's show 24 like this. 24 is the expansion of 4 factorial. 4 factorial times, and there's also a 3. You say 4 factorial times 3. This gives us the total number of concerts.